The labor movement has always been and always will be for the common good. As Americans, we believe in a simple yet powerful notion that everyone in our nation deserves a fair shot. And in a capitalist democracy, the labor movement is the only real check and balance we have on greed and political power.
When greed runs amok on Wall Street, it means lost jobs and shattered stores on Main Street.
Are there workers in the house? This country was founded on the respect, the work of the people.
Not back, fight back! Not back, fight back!
When parents lose their jobs and can't find work, it reaches into my classroom.
I'm here to urge Congress to pass the Teachers and First Responders Back to Work Act. When the kids hear about these kinds of cutbacks, I believe it makes them feel that maybe they're just not worth it. At least that was the sense I got when students heard about my layoffs. One student was visibly upset. When I tried to console her, she said to me, "You don't understand. You changed my life. I want to major in history in college because of you. I want to become a teacher because of you."
Are you going to put 400,000 school teachers back in classrooms? Or are you going to save people with average incomes of $1 million, a 0.5%?
How do we use the assets that we have to really move infrastructure products? Number one is working with our pension trustees to encourage pension funds to invest in infrastructure projects and providing training for current workers to upgrade their skills.
I just want to say how grateful I am to Rich Trumka and the AFL-CIO and to Randy Weingarten.
There's work to be done. There are workers like these guys who are ready to do it. And so I just want to thank everybody who's participating here for stepping up to the plate and showing extraordinary leadership.
One nation!
I believe that the American dream begins in our classrooms. We're here to stand with our brothers and sisters because you know what? Our kids need teachers.
And the message has to be that the middle class cannot disappear, and that affects everyone. We need people to have jobs, we need education, and this is a rally to bring us all together.
We are one with the occupation movement in the United States. We have warm clothes and tents and resources for the folks who do this 24 hours a day.
Within the labor movement, people are always fighting for collective bargaining rights, just representation in the work. We are part of the 99%, and so we should be working together in this fight.
It was actually the AFT graduate assistants who were the first occupiers in the Wisconsin State Capitol. We didn't have the word occupy yet. Nobody really knew what was building there. But the graduate students, who were our members, decided to take the first stand against Walker and wouldn't leave the hearings. They said, "We want to be heard."
This is exactly what we need to be doing to catalyze and rebuild an American labor movement. Students and workers coming together in this place is what's sparking it.
This whole attack from Walker is absolute union busting and absolute attack on a way of life that people in Wisconsin have cherished for many, many years.
In our contract, we have issues regarding mandatory overtime, safe staffing needs for our residents, to keep them safe and to help us maintain safety.
The events of this week appear to be galvanizing support for unions. The faculty at La Crosse decided that they would unionize by a vote of 249 to 37.
When you see that your work is not valued, that can't help but to sort of pull people together, and not just within departments, but across disciplines, across campuses.
I think it was very fitting that our union voted to unionize with the massive percentage that it did, and that we continue to move forward even in the face of the current struggles.
On Senate Bill 5 today, writing GOP majority muscle, the sweeping changes to collective bargaining swept through committee.
I read through the bill. I was just appalled by the attack on public workers. I was thinking to myself, when did we become the enemy?
Ohioans rely on teachers who make a difference every day.
Governor Kasich doesn't think it's worth the time to listen to these workers, he's got to be sick. We will not go away. We will win this battle. Fight on! Fight on! Fight on!
Our entry-level social workers come into this agency making $15 an hour. And when you start deducting the kind of money from their paychecks that Senate Bill 5 is going to remove, a lot of workers are saying they're not going to be able to afford to work here.
The perseverance, the solidarity that is in this hall today is what makes this moment and transforms it into a movement.
All of our hard work, our phone calls, our canvassing, are showing us that we are going to be victorious. We've still got 9 more days, and unions are strong. We're alive in Ohio, and we are going to make sure that it continues that way.
I've never been more proud than on the 47th anniversary of the historic Selma to Montgomery March. I joined nearly 1,000 students from Alabama State University as they marched from their campus to join thousands of other students and working people, particularly in light of all the voter suppression laws. But this is why I was really proud, because we were marching against the Alabama vile, hurtful anti-immigration law.
The law says that immigrants have to disclose their immigration status when enrolling children in school.
I know it promotes an atmosphere of racial profiling against Latinos because nobody's going to be looking for any illegal Canadians. The discrimination gets more subtle, and anywhere you see it, you have to stamp it out.
The fact that we're united as Black, African American communities with Latino, Hispanic communities, it's really a blessing. It's an awesome thing to see.
I think it's important to be organized in what is immigration rights, what is women's rights, what is social justice. It matters to labor. You should be a member, you should pay your COPE dues because it's a really important year.
You couldn't use your college ID to vote.
We don't want to be in the position of having to fight for the ground we've already gained.
Our fathers beat Jim Crow, we gonna beat James Crow Jr.
Let's embrace an agenda based on quality. That, my friends, is the only path forward for our kids, our country, and yes, our union. I was at the Edwards School and I was at the Boston Teachers Union School. These two schools are fantastic schools.
With our extended day program, I think that's probably one of the major things that actually makes this school work, that the unions are involved here, because with the union, it's a voluntary activity. The majority of the teachers do choose to stay in the afternoon. It's something that they actually enjoy, so you're getting quality teaching in the afternoon as well.
In this school, the teachers' voice is heard. We are the ones who create the school. We are the ones that make the decisions around curriculum. The buy-in from the faculty is huge because it's us. We are the responsible ones.
What we've learned is if we stay within our little tribes and keep fighting, we are not going to help kids.
Our greatest gains in advancing teacher practice and student achievement have come about when deep-seated collaboration and cooperation occurred.
We do not stand in the middle of Main Street, Plattsburgh, and shout out to the community that the school board's nasty, the superintendent's nasty.
You gotta have honest conversation. And at the end, it pays back in dividends in school climate, community relations, doing the hard thing, working on student results.
Can you talk about teacher quality evaluation?
New Haven, negotiated evaluation system with the union and the administration. And what we also have is a process so that people can get real help to see if they can improve their practice.
We've built the culture of respect and problem solving here.
There are times when you stress out over test scores because they matter. But overall, there really is a sense of teamwork.
There really has been good input from the teachers, and it's been two-way.
AFT has shown America through what has happened in New Haven. The teachers ought to be at the center of reform. If they're not reformed, really can't happen.
Tools and conditions to enable success never happens in education. We want to make sure this tough job is more manageable. And that's what Share My Lesson is all about.
We have this online network where some of our best teachers are sharing the greatest resources they have with each other.
We do spend way too much time trying to sift and find that exact lesson that's going to help us. So anything that can try and help save with time management is going to allow us then to really focus on how to make the lesson we do have even better.
We have a bunch of good examples about how you can do things together to improve student outcomes. I think that the real reason that you don't see it is that austerity is code for we're not going to actually create equity for children.
We're not putting enough money into education, and it will affect our future, our children. It's going to affect the whole economy.
Teachers have to speak up and let our legislators know that they're not doing the right thing.
We must hold our government accountable to what the Constitution calls for, a quality education for our children.
Choices should include the use of the rainy day fund.
We need our class size, capped where it's supposed to be. We need to save our teachers.
Without our bus drivers, our kids can't get to school. Without our cafeteria employees, our kids are not fed.
Every year we see schools destabilized by the pink slip process and the lives of students and their teachers thrown into chaos. We must work together to take adult responsibility for LAUSD. Reverse some of those pink slips today.
We have 98 elementary schools in this city without playgrounds. We have 160 schools without libraries.
And we want a better school day. We want art, music, PE, world languages. There's closer to 10,000 people here, all fighting for the same thing, our schools.
Well, we're rallying against the outrageous 50% budget cut that the governor has proposed for Temple University.
More incarceration and less education will only poison our city.
And anything that happens for people who can't come here and get an education has ramifications for the distant future.
Lemon, strawberry, red velvet, and chocolate.
What we're doing today, it shows that bake sales are not enough, that we're doing our part to help, but what we need is for the legislature and the Senate to help us out even more. We cannot support the school by just selling cupcakes.
We can't do it alone. And we, as the labor movement, must understand we have to be part of community.
Thank you so much for giving us part of your Saturday today.
I think that it's very crucial that not only parents and schools but the community all come together to make sure that the students are successful.
I love this. It's like got milk, got teachers.
The form here that we have, if we have any problems that we need to concentrate the first days of school, and we're going to deliver it to the financial officer from the Detroit district and the governor's office so we can get the problems addressed.
To make sure there's a vision of success and opportunity, the only way to do that is for us to work together.
A lot of the things that I was told and taught about labor were just patently false. They deeply care for those that even aren't part of the union, that they just want to bring together and build a stronger, better community.
Well, at our table with two pastors, they didn't understand about how lower wage and support people make. And to hear them speak to wanting to help us to try to get to a living wage, I thought it was really great.
Well, a monster tornado is bearing down on Birmingham.
Ever since the tornado hit, we've been out there, everywhere. Anything these people can use, then we're gonna get it to them.
And I called the office and told them that we had to get to McDonald Chapel and bring everything we had because the people hadn't got anything. They thanked us, still thanking us today, but you know, that's what you're supposed to do in a time like that.
We're trying to find ways to plug people into counseling and care.
I'm proud of our AFT. I'm proud of our members. They have done everything they can to help. It's really been a community effort, and that's what it's all about.
Poverty matters, and it especially matters when it comes to student learning. Community schools must be a key pillar of education reform.
AFT West Virginia was one of the 5 to receive an AFT Innovation Grant to help turn Westside Elementary into a true community school.
So that school represents hope. It represents possibility.
We have a dental clinic that the children can participate in, and we also have a medical clinic.
I was really excited about the new school, and I think it's going to be a positive influence on the Westside community.
Well, I'm delighted to be here with you this morning. The AFT met up with First Book, and it has grown into a partnership. We are going all across this country giving out books to our students.
Having a partner like the AFT makes all the difference in the world to us. It means we have local heroes on the ground who are committed to the welfare of the kids.
It's important that our students have books at home that they can read, and so having this opportunity to build a library is critical.
McDowell. It's basically wraparound services on steroids. It takes shared responsibility. It takes us trying to figure out how to level the playing field for poor kids.
Today is the launch of a new day and a new beginning for McDowell County. And I want to personally thank each of you for committing to this important project, especially to Gail and Randy, who without your leadership, we would not be here today. I'm confident that we will improve the possibilities of a better tomorrow as we officially launch this joint effort today.
Take the passion that I've seen in the last few days, the passion you all have. Use it to help us reignite a movement that can hold on to the promise of America, and a movement that basically says you can have a voice in our democracy and a future that is always brighter.
I'm here at the polls today to get people to vote against issue 2.
Have you made it out to the polls? We know we have the support out there, but we need the people to cast the vote. The polls don't win it for us, the votes do.
I've voted in every election since I was 18 years old, but this is the first time that I voted that the impact is so directly on me, so directly on my community. And this was an important vote, not only for me, but for Ohio.
You know, since February, we knew that Senate Bill 5 was unfair. Today, in an historic vote, Ohioans have vetoed Senate Bill 5.